Hello, everyone. We're Team One, and today we're going to be discussing the topic of the ethics of mandating neuro-wearable technology in the workplace.
Hello, my name is Adanolo Bisesin.
I'm Bonnie Thomas.
I'm Jude Alkatib.
I'm Surya Gutala.
I'm Samadi Williamson.
I'm Dorothy Santafanti.
I'm Taeyoung Kim.
And I'm Upayan Roy.
Okay, so imagine you walk into work and you're seeing all your coworkers wearing this new neurotechnology called cognitive enhancing biofeedback devices. With these devices, they not only make you more productive and enhance your focus, but they overall make you a better worker. With this newfound technology, your company ups the quota from 10 weekly assignments weekly to 15 as a result of the new results that are produced from said technology. Your coworker down the hall, 2 weeks later, Bob, is hitting 18 a week, but you, because you do not fully benefit from it, because you're part of the small minority that cannot fully benefit physically from it, are not able to hit the 15 quota. You only hit 12 or 13. However, because he can fully benefit from it, he hits 18 and gets a brand new promotion to senior manager. Do any of you think that this is unethical? By a show of hands. Thank you. So this presentation will fully outline the ethical implications of said processes and also said technology in the workforce and workplace.
Okay. The question will concern about ethical implications of neurotechnology on corporate office jobs and how it increases productivity.
So along with the turn of the 21st century came the rise and evolution of neuro and wearable technology. Neurotechnology is defined as technology that can either stimulate the brain or read brain signals or do both. While it has historically only been available for researchers and scientists, the potential for commercial use has become increasingly promising. Different neurotechnology has different functions and abilities depending on the form and the company producing it, but some common claims include being able to improve cognitive functions and focus.
Up until now, this technology, wearable technology, has mostly been used to ensure safety in the workplace, specifically wearable sensors that will audibly notify construction workers of oncoming vehicles, or safe smart textiles that promote the safety of employees from falls by automatically engaging in an airbag system. But what happens when companies arbitrarily decide what the definition of safety really means?
So one type of neurotech that may have a place in the workforce is the focus band. The focus band is a 2-channel EEG system that contains 3 silver oxide electrodes that are able to read the electrical activity from the prefrontal cortex. The brain wave frequencies being read are thought to have a correlation to focus levels. So what the focus band does is it provides users with visual or audio neural feedback based on their focus level, allowing them to either refocus themselves when they're doing work, do work more efficiently, be better at sports, be better at games. It just has a variety of different functions.
Before these neuro-wearables are implemented, we need public opinion because they're going to be the ones that are going to be doing the jobs with these neuro-wearables. And so there's been a study done in 2014, which has done exactly that. And it has shown that the public is very open to wearing neuro-wearables during office hours. However, there are many limitations to the study, and we would highly encourage there to be more studies before these neuro-wearables are implemented in the workplace.
Okay. How does OSHA tie into it? OSHA, which stands for Occupational Safety of Health Administration, talks about the safety and the well-being of workers, but there's a problem in which OSHA needs to address, and it needs to be followed by a legal action.
The use of neuro-wearable technology is a conversation that's becoming more and more popular in the workplace, but there are some issues with it. A lot of employees are worried about different things like the privacy aspect of it. The focus band in particular, it does collect some sensitive information from their users, such as the IP address of the device that has the app and the device ID as well. This like the privacy aspects of it and other reasons like health diagnoses, it's a part of like some reasons why a lot of people just don't want to use the focus band. But unfortunately, it is going to cause some problems for them in the workplace because they would be faced with like some form of workplace discrimination, as in they wouldn't be able to have as many employment opportunities as their counterparts who are using the focus bands. Some other issues with it is when companies are too focused on the productivity factor of their employees, it does have a toll of the mental health of the employees. Like it can cause stress in the employees, and depression, and also burnout. And there's not many companies that want workers that aren't willing to actually do work.
These discussion of the key issues do lead to limitations. Neurodivergent wearers could have complications with using the device, for example, which means they might be less compatible with these devices, which means we may potentially lose inputs from diverse people. Additionally, medical differences and diversities can alter the efficacy, which means the factors such as the volume, the size, and even the shape of the skull can change the level of detection. This means that people who cannot use, do not use, or have less benefits using the focus band can experience discriminations in the workforce, especially if the company goes the pay based on the measures of the focus band. Aside from the diversity, there's also legal complications in the office, such as misrepresentation of the products and the issues of who's responsible for the privacy data of the users.
Okay, we've come up with 3 possible solutions for all the problems being presented from the neurotech in the office place and the focus band. Our first solution is to establish legal protections against neurotech related discrimination. This means if you are an employee at an office and you feel like you've been wrongfully terminated because of your inability to use neurotech, or you lost out on a promotion, or you're just being treated unfairly compared to employees who are able to use neurotech, you should be able to, government agencies such as OSHA should develop a process where you're able to file a claim with them. They then review the claim, and if they see that wrongful discrimination has actually occurred, they can launch an investigation into the situation and your company. This allows OSHA and other government agencies to take legal action, as well as sets a precedent for future situations like this. Our second solution is to determine the legality of mandating non-medically necessary devices. Because we're not even sure, since something like this hasn't happened before, since neurotech isn't yet in the workplace, we're not even sure if it's legal to mandate these devices. Our third solution is to incorporate government protections and oversight, ensuring that the privacy of the employees is protected, and as well as preventing third-party data collection.
With that in mind, with the knowledge we now have about neuro-wearable devices and their potential to cause disruptions in the company culture and climate in the American workforce, I believe it is within our best interest and OSHA's best interest to look out for the American workforce and be cognizant of any potential problems that these neuro-wearables may have for us in the future. The time to act is now, and any decisions we make about neuro-wearables currently could impact how OSHA and other governing bodies may treat situations like these in the future. These are our references. And thank you so much. If you guys have any questions, you can raise your hand.
For a picture? Yeah.
So no questions? Oh, should we lower this? Okay.
Smile on your face like you did great. There we go.
So you guys did really, really well. I mean, you presented the issue. It's a real issue. You addressed potential problems. And then what you did is I thought you framed the question space very, very well in terms of, okay, if these are the problems, what are the questions that arise from those problems? And then how might these be addressed? Not necessarily solved, but addressed. And that was brilliant, because anytime you start to bring in government agencies like this, and you begin to engage the industrial commercial workspace, it's always a question of what the address is going to be, and then the questions that are asked and the answers have to evolve. So I think you did a great job. The exchange of information was spot on. I think you did a wonderful job summarizing the issue and then proposing what might be future developments. Overall, excellent work. Over to you, Justin.
I think this was an excellent presentation, very well organized, and I mean, you hit a lot of really critical points, and you did it in the amount of time that's allotted, which is a real challenge. I wanted to point out a couple of things that I really thought were excellent. So first of all, the idea of the focus band, you centered this on a very specific technology, and I think that that's a really critical thing. Dr. Giordano, Dr. Shook, and Dr. Wortsman, we've been in this space of neuroethics. That's not always what sometimes people are able to do to really ground something in a specific emerging issue. That sometimes things are very far out. So that was great. And I think I would just like to highlight the issue that you brought up of the neurodivergent wearers and how developing these technologies could impact them. This is you hit on something that's actually being discussed, maybe not enough, but there's a group in Stanford, Dr. Fung is one of the kind of key players in this, and sort of talking about bringing some awareness to this issue that you all have kind of identified on your own being key, which is that as we design these technologies, people may be left behind who aren't, they're sort of designed for the mass of users, the majority of users, and incorporating, the sort of diversity and the neurodiversity in our population into design is really critical, and you hit on the implications of that. So I think that was excellent. There's a lot of other great things, but I'll leave it to Dr. Wortsman.
Great job. Great job. What I really loved about this presentation was really its focus and its clarity. So you got in fast, you hit hard, you got out, you got to the point quickly, you painted your picture. It was efficient. You didn't use too many words. And I really love that you honed in on the likelihood of productivity being something that'll be focused, right? Because it's a value in workplaces, and looking at how that's likely to manifest and where the rewards are and what these things are likely to be used for. Because the truth is you could use a wearable for any number of applications in the workplace, but the likelihood that productivity might be one of them, I think is fairly realistic. So highlighting that trade-off, if they're optimizing for productivity with what might get lost in terms of who's going to be excluded from that, is really very much to the point. Good job.
Agreed on all counts. And of course, I heard things that I was listening for, because we've talked about things like explainability, accountability, responsibility, and you hit on all of these things. I really especially appreciated viewing it from the employee's standpoint, whoever that person might be. Not only is my corporation in compliance with whatever regulatory framework is going to have to be put into place for these devices, but what are the pathways and procedures for grievance? Where do I go? We don't want to leave consumers and people in the workforce lost when something goes wrong. And how fast is it going to take for something to go wrong? Oh, it just went wrong, right? So you guys really covered all the ethical bases as far as I'm concerned. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.